Rightio, this video will probably take place over, well, who knows how fucking long, but don't know. We'll just have to see. It's going to take as long as it takes. But the whole point of this will be moving this fucking center pivot because it is not in the right spot. Now, what I mean by that is that with the RS whatever sprinkler on the end it is, it throws a good 11 metres past the end of this span. Now, a good 11 metres past the end of this span goes over the track just beyond that strainer post lying on the ground there. And down the other end, near the road, it misses significantly a rather large area. It overlaps with the second pivot, which you're never going to be able to help, but similarly behind me, it misses about 16 to 18 metres to the edge of the track. So what I endeavour to do is move the whole fucking thing, which is going to be a bit of a, potentially a bit of a head fuck, but we'll see how it goes. Hopefully it's not super unachievable. Already spoken to Eagle Eye about the best way to approach this. So it's entirely doable. It's just a matter of enough skill to line it up. Now, what I did originally, I measured that out with the tape measure, not the length of the pivot obviously, but well, initially I ran the fucking thing, measured where it sprinkled to out of the end to get that 11 metres, 35 feet roughly. I'm going to work on 12 metres because that gives you a bit of room for days when it's windy. So the whole fucking thing needs to move. Now, I'd measured it out with a tape measure and thought, yep, that post's about it. And the other day I thought, right, I want to actually be fucking sure. So I did it the old Egyptian way and had an old ball of round bale twine that was never going to be used, that I do use for string lines when I'm doing sheds. Actually, there's a few balls, but anyway. So whacked a peg in beside that post, ran the string line back to the track, and it was nowhere near it. So if you can just see it on the ground. Right there in the centre, where the hammer is, there's a peg with a string line, which I ran the string line that way to make sure it wasn't going to go over the track as well, which it was, so we had to move it back a metre to the west, or around about a metre or 2 metres, whatever it was. But it also ended up, yeah, it's probably 3 metres actually. But it also ended up about 4 or 5 metres further to the north from the star post. So now I've got to do new foundation, footings foundation there, and expose the old main line on the edge of the concrete, around the edge of the bloody fence line. So backhoe probably coming Thursday, so we'll continue this then. But in the meantime, what I intend to do is measure out the footings. I'm also going to run this string line up to the road, well, to the road direction, to see where it's going to end up, and possibly to the west to see roughly whereabouts it ends up compared to the fence line and the other pivot. The plan is, because I need 4 footing bolts to get them in the right spot. You're not quite sure what happened there. The plan is to build a template that goes over the 4 footing bolts that I can just sit on top of the concrete over the trenches when we do the footings, and that way at least the fucking thing should be squared up, and when I move the centre point it should bolt straight down, hopefully. Anyway, we'll see how we go.